Good morning, everybody. Welcome to New Beginning Homestead. So, I've been watching, the ones I normally follow anyway. I noticed, and I don't know why I haven't heard of this before, considering I've been watching these people for years, but I believe it's Three Rivers Homestead. She does a pantry challenge every year, which I, for some reason, hadn't heard of it. So, several of the people that, also do the YouTube, they are doing it. And I thought, well, that would be kind of cool. So the way that she explains it is for January and February, you don't go to the grocery store. You use up basically what you've got in your house, and it kind of helps rotate the things that just they get pushed aside. Or that you hardly ever use or whatever, just to kind of use up some of that stuff, get your stuff rotated. That way, whenever, summer comes and things like that, you're ready to go with the new and the fresh stuff and kind of get rid of, some things that maybe you made a big batch of, but you haven't really touched it, or you've only eaten a few jars or something out of it. But, she also talks about, like, I can't quite remember, I think their budget for the month is like $600 a month, but they have a really large family. And so she does not so for December, she spends her normal $600. She doesn't go to the store January or February. And then March, she just spends her normal $600. So she doesn't do this major stock up before and a replenish after. And she talks about how if you say you don't have a dairy cow and you do go through a lot of milk or whatever, to allot yourself that's the only thing you go to the store for. Use up some of your oats, use up some of your rice, things like that. Come up with different creative meals in order to, kind of, like I said, use things up, and that way you can replenish it, with fresher stuff. I know that I buy the rice, I buy a lot of things in the 50-pound bags, but we had bought rice in a 50-pound bag, and it has actually lasted us all year. So I would like to use some of that up with some different recipes, just to get fresh rice in there, whenever the pantry challenge is over. And then she talks about how if you're vegan, allot yourself, rather than $100 a month on vegetables, go to $25. Try to cut down, and don't, by no means don't do something that's going to starve you to death or anything like that. And this isn't for everybody, but I just thought it was pretty cool. So I'm actually going to try it. It's really early and it's really cold, but I've got a big day ahead of me. Today was actually my grocery shopping day anyway, and I'm running late on this pantry challenge. You're supposed to start at January 1st, which is actually tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the grocery store and get a few things that were already on my list that I know I'm completely out of. And I've already organized one of my freezers and took inventory of it. I still have 2 more freezers to go. Well, one chest freezer. I know all that's in that one is pork, but I need to kind of take inventory of what I have. And then the freezer for my refrigerator, because that's just kind of like a whatever freezer. So I do need to do that, but I'm going to do that when I get back. Because I'm only going to get the things that I absolutely am out of, or that I know I'm going to run out of and use a lot of for this week's grocery trip. But so I've already done that this morning. I've already organized the one upright freezer, which just has chicken and beef and that in it. But then, like I said, I do have the chest freezer that's all pork that I do have to still organize it and take inventory. But I also did something else that I'm going to kind of throw in there. It's not necessarily part of the pantry challenge. It's just kind of a hack to reorganize for the year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into my bedroom closet. So I learned this from my aunt before she passed away, but she used to do this. She would pick a holiday that she would do this every year. And it's just to kind of help weed out what you don't use. So let me get this camera turned around. Okay, so it's New Year's Eve, and so what I've done is I've gone through my clothes. I got all the laundry put up, and see, I have my hangers facing the wrong way. So throughout this year, see, throughout this year, what I'll do is anytime I wear something and I wash it, whenever I go to, like, say I wore this shirt, and I washed it, when I go to put it back up, I will hang it the right way. So then at the end of the year, next New Year's Eve, I'll go through my closet again, and any hangers that are still facing the inwards direction will actually be donated, because obviously if I haven't worn them in a year, I'm not going to. You can also do this with shoes. Now, I only have 4 pair of shoes, so if you keep your shoes, like, say, facing this way all the time, you know, turn them around, and then whatever shoes are still facing whichever direction you do yours, at the end of the year, you obviously haven't worn them in a year and you're not going to. So that's what I've done to organize my closet for this upcoming year. And then, of course, next New Year's Eve, like I said, anything that's still facing the wrong way will be donated. So that's just something that I do. So anyway, that is one thing that I've done this morning. So now I'm going to head to the market to get a few things that I know that, like I said, I'm completely out of. I have to have my creamer. I like to have a little bit of coffee with my creamer. I love my creamer. I have tried making it from home, like making my own creamer. I didn't find that it was cost efficient. Maybe if I had my own milk cow and could take the heavy cream off of that and add vanilla, then it might be cost effective. But because I don't have my own cow, it wasn't really cost effective. I was actually spending a lot more to make one tiny little batch than if I just buy the generic brand of the French vanilla coffee creamer. So I do have to get enough of that to last me. So I guess we will see you at the store. So I just arrived at the grocery store and it is super busy. Like, oh my gosh, there is tons of people here. I'm actually waiting for a parking spot. But so I don't know how much I'm going to be able to really record in the store, just because I like to respect people's privacy and not parking. Not everybody, you know, I don't want to go up to everybody and say, hey, do you mind if I record you? So anyway, I will do what I can, but you know, I got to thinking, even if you're just now seeing this and you want to do the pantry challenge and you get into it late like I did, well, it starts tomorrow, so I'm just kind of like on a mad dash for things, but you know, still do it, even if you need to run to the store and just maybe just get a few items. I mean, don't go spending like all this crazy money, because like the whole purpose of it is to use up things that have kind of been pushed to the side, or things that have been pushed to the back of the pantry, you know. And it is a lot easier for us because there's really only 2 of us, sometimes 3. My son works an awful lot, so we don't really see him a whole lot. He kind of either eats at work or at his girlfriend's house. So it's really just 2 of us. Sometimes we'll have just a grilled cheese and a tomato soup for dinner. So it'll be very interesting to see how we handle the 2 months. But we don't really go to the grocery store a whole lot anyway. But to not go at all, I think the only thing we're going to definitely have to go for throughout the 2 months is we are going to have to buy milk. I just do not have the freezer space to freeze milk, but and we go through probably 2 gallons, about 2 gallons a week. So maybe I'll start, you know, I'll use up some of maybe the powdered milk for cooking and save our, you know, regular milk for drinking. And you know, I'm going to see how creative I can get, and maybe I'll post some oddball recipes for cooking that I'm doing. So anyway, I finally got a parking spot, so I'm headed into the store now and grab a couple items. I'm not going to be doing any crazy shopping. Like I said, just a few things I know for a fact I'm like completely out of. All right, see you in there. Okay, so I snuck over here real quick to the baby section because it's the only place that the aisles are not packed. But just from like conversations I'm overhearing, everybody's trying to prepare for a snowstorm that's coming in, so everybody's stocking up. I'm just trying to get a few things to get through my little pantry thing, but I don't know if you can see that white wall behind me. That's actually not a wall. That is a piece of plastic This store actually had some shoplifters that started fires, so there is no freezer section. So I have no choice but to go to another store because I need bacon. So as I was saying, we are completely out of bacon, so I do have to go get bacon. So I am going to have to go to another grocery store. I do want to get everything that I need, you know, on my normal trip. Since this is the last day of December, I have to do my normal grocery shopping. Since I'm not going to be shopping for 2 months, but I am not stocking up on things. I'm going to use up what I have. But like I said, we don't have any bacon, and that's something we do go through a lot of in our house. So I will have to go to another store. But oh well, is what it is. So I think I'm pretty much done here. I do need to grab a basket, and then I'll be headed out. Okay, I am back in the truck. I am starting like crazy. So that was insane. I guess, I mean, I know the clouds look pretty bad, but I guess we are supposed to have a big snowstorm coming. So people are stocking up because of that. And then with the fire that we had here, everything is just very limited to what you can get. And they kind of have it all crammed into one little area. So, and there's zero freezer section. You can't get like lunch meats, bacon, sliced cheese. Like that whole area is not even there. And what is there is very slim picking. So as far as like anything they may have, like I'm so thankful I have chickens. There was like the whole egg thing was completely empty. But I didn't go in to stock up. I just went in to get the things that I basically need that were out of that I was going to buy today anyway, before I heard about this pantry challenge. And, you know, as I walked around, I saw things that we're just not going to be able to avoid going to the store to get throughout these next 2 months just because of what they're for. My phone is ringing and I have no idea where it is. Like, for instance, bell peppers, because I go through a lot of bell peppers because I have a pet skunk and that's his favorite snack is bell peppers. So we do go through a lot of bell peppers. So I am going to have to buy those. But really, for the most part, I think I can actually do this. I'm kind of excited about it, seeing that if I can do the 2-month pantry challenge. So, but I do have to stop at the other grocery store, because I used all of the bacon up the other night on a recipe that I did. So I do have to go get bacon, but I'm just getting, like I said, the normal things I was going to get today anyway, and I'm not buying extra stuff. The only thing I did buy extra on was coffee creamer, because I don't want to be without that. So we will head to the next store and hopefully they have bacon. Okay, finally done. Both stores were a madhouse. Now I have a 45-minute drive home because that is the closest grocery store to our house. So I'm finally done. You know, the crazy thing is we butchered a pig about 3 months ago, I guess it was. We had it done. And the butcher that we took it to, I didn't know, but does not cure the bacon for you. So I actually have to cure it myself, and I just have not had time. I wish I would have known that. There was actually a lot of things we weren't real happy with, but live and learn. So we'll, you know, next year be probably using a totally different butcher, but that's okay. Not a big deal. We lived, we learned. You know, it was an expensive lesson, but hey, is what it is. So now I'm going to head home, and I've got one more freezer. Well, I've got the pork freezer to organize, and I've got the kitchen freezer to totally clean out and organize. So anyway, here we go. See you at home. Hi everyone. Okay, so I'm back from the grocery store, and let me show you what I got, because this is what I had on my normal list. I got everything on my list. And as far as buying extras of stuff, there's only 2 things that I bought that were not necessarily on my list. Well, one was on my list, but not that many. So let me show you what I did. Okay, now some of this is my normal grocery haul, but not necessarily part of the pantry challenge. So I got 2 gallons of milk, which that'll last us probably about a week, week and a half. And then I got my normal, like, Clamato. Now, I did get some things that were on our list that we don't normally buy because of New Year's. It is tradition that I make pozole. So I did get the stuff to make pozole and then tamales because I'm going to make some of those too tomorrow. This, I'm not sure if that would be considered part of the pantry challenge. I buy a big bag of carrots because I actually give them to my rabbits as treats. So I don't know. These won't last us 2 months, so we will have to buy more. But that's more of like our pet food. So I don't really consider that part of the pantry challenge. I did buy sour cream. Now I can make sour cream, but when you make it, it's only good in the fridge for about a week. And we don't use it often enough. So it spoils faster than we can use it. So that's why I don't really make it that often unless I know we're going to be using it up. I did go ahead and get some cans of the crushed tomatoes, tomato paste, and tomato sauce because I used everything we had in a canning recipe that I did a couple weeks ago. And then I got tuna, just one thing. That I also don't know if that would be considered part of the pantry challenge because I give that to my cats as a treat every now and then. So that's kind of theirs, but that will last me like 3 or 4 months, so I won't really have to use that. And then I got my coffee, mayo, my garlic, of course my bananas, and my cucumbers and celery. Like I said, that store had a fire, so there was very limited on frozen stuff. They had a few things in those like bins or whatever. So again, these are for the pozole that I'll be making. That's and the tamale, and this is part for the tamales. That is part of, just something we do for New Year's. Now, as far as extras, I did buy extra creamer. I got 4 because I do use a lot of creamer. I try to buy these anytime I see them just because I like them for snacks during the day. Now, I did have to go to a separate store to get the chorizo and the bacon because the other one that I was at, like I said, they didn't have any because of that fire. Here's another thing. I got some blueberries, but I don't think this is part of the pantry challenge because these are not for us. These are actually for Oreo, who is my pet skunk. So, and actually I do not see his bell peppers. I must have another bag in the car. I will have to go look. I did splurge. This is my favorite kombucha, the blood orange, carrot, and ginger. I have tried making it because I do make my own kombucha, but I just cannot seem to duplicate that one, and that is one of my favorites. And then, of course, these are not part of our pantry challenge. These are just things that we were either out of or running really low on that I did need to get. So that is what I got. I spent, well, at the first store, I spent $120. And then, of course, when I had to go to the other store to get these, this was $20. So altogether, $140. I do have to run out to the vehicle real quick because I do not see Oreos, bell peppers, and those are a must-have. So anyway, that's what I got to do the pantry challenge. Or not do the pantry challenge, but for this last week of this month stock up. So I will not be going to the grocery store for any standard items for the next 2 months, because I'm going to do like I said, I'm going to use up what I have in my pantry, things that maybe have been pushed to the back, things like, we have like, 6 cereal boxes up there, and some of them only have a little bit in it, so I'm going to go ahead and, I'm not going to buy any more cereal. I'm going to make sure that those get used up before we buy any more cereal. So this is a really good way to go through things and use up things that have just kind of been pushed aside. So I'm actually really excited about it. I will kind of, do videos throughout the next, 2 months on other things that I have already planned. But, maybe like if I've got to get creative or something on a meal or whatever, we'll do that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get this put up, and then I'm going to clean out what I call the whatever freezer. That's the one that's in my kitchen, not out in the garage. That's on our refrigerator because whatever just gets thrown into it. So I am going to clean that out. I have a feeling a lot of it I'm either going to donate or throw away, or I don't know, at least reorganize it, do something with it. So we will see. But let me go ahead and get this stuff put up, and then I'll be back on camera as soon as I'm done. Okay, so I got the refrigerator cleaned out, and I had a lot of expired condiments in there. It was basically a refrigerator full of condiments because we don't really buy a lot of refrigerator stuff. Really just milk, you know, creamer, you know, some salad dressings, you know, mayonnaise, mustard, your basic ones, but we don't really buy a lot of refrigerator stuff. So I did get this cleaned out. It looks really empty, but I'm happy with it. I think it turned out great. So, because, you know, I have like all my bread making stuff up here. And then in this door, I have like all of my cheese making stuff down here, and then some in here. I did find that other bag with Oreos bell peppers in it, and I also found my avocados and a box of the elbow macaroni that I had got. I do make my own pasta, but when I do like mac and cheese, I prefer the elbow macaroni, and I do have the attachment that does that, but I don't know. I don't really like how it turns out, so I just buy the, you know, cheap box of elbow macaroni. But other than that, we make our own like spaghetti and lasagna and fettuccine, angel hair, yes, manicotti. But the elbow macaroni attachment that I have, I don't know. I don't really like how it just turns out. It's alright for like panini, but I don't know. I've tried the elbow one. But anyway, so now I'm going to try or work on the, what I call the whatever freezer. And that's the freezer that's attached to the fridge at the bottom. It's just a drawer. Let's see. And it's like everything is just thrown in there. So it's kind of like whatever's in there. So I'm going to work on that and see if I can get that cleaned out. Okay, so now I've got the whatever freezer done. And I've got the upright freezer done. I've got the refrigerator done. I still have the freezer with all the pork in it to do, but I'm going to go outside and get some little buckets, because when I was at the store I couldn't find any little baskets that I wanted. So I'm going to go outside and get some of the little like wash tubs that I have. I thought I had some in here, but get those all cleaned up and sanitized so that I can actually organize the chest freezer that has the pork in it. It's the only thing I hate about chest freezers is things get lost in them. So I'm going to go outside and do that. But let me show you the freezer real quick and show you what I've done. I'll show you what I have, the fridge and the freezer and the outside freezer of what I have done, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so basically all this right here is stuff that my son buys. He likes those quick microwave meals just because of his schedule. He does like 16-hour days, 6 days a week. So he usually buys these like microwave stuff. I don't know. And then I've got my bread and just some little odds and ends and some pasta. And then down here I've got my veggies, and I've got my bacon, and then over here I have all my beef and game meat. I had a lot more than I thought I did. I did not know I had that much. And then of course some dog cookies that I made. But I've got antelope and bear, and I had no idea we even still had any of that. So unfortunately a lot of stuff was freezer burnt and I had to throw it away. And then the fridge, looking good, looking clean. And then we have the freezer out here. So I've got some cheese and some juice and chili and more cheese and some pasta sauce that we made, some massas, and then of course my son's got those sandwiches or whatever they're called. And then we've got chicken down here, chicken. That's all the corn we got this year, so that's all ready to go. These, I do these for my son as well, so whenever I make a meal, when I have leftovers, I put them together in like a little to-go container so that he can just microwave them and actually have home-cooked meals. And then of course we've got our green chili. We don't have any beef in this freezer just because it's full of fish, green, we have all of our fish in this drawer, but between fish, green chili, corn, and the chickens that we did this year, there's just no room in here. This was this garlic and herb. What I did while we were doing the chickens, I actually got a few of them back there. I put the marinade in the bag when I sealed it, so it's been doing that. So I still have the other freezer to do, but like I said, I need to go get bins or some buckets from outside in order to finish that up. And then from there, I will start on the pantry shelves. And you know, as I was cleaning the refrigerator, it's almost like, it's like refreshing. Like I'm going into the new year like a clean start. Like I've got my closet cleaned, all my hangers are turned around. I've got the fridge and the freezer in here done. I've got one of the freezer done. I've got, like I said, I've got to do pantry and stuff. But it's almost like you're going into the new year with like a fresh start. Everything is organized. Everything is ready to go. I do have a sink full of dishes now because I cleaned out the refrigerator. But I'm excited about this. So for those of you that are doing the pantry challenge and have done it for years, or this is your first time, I think this is awesome. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. Like, how creative I have to be, but it's just the two of us, so we don't really eat like regular meals all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, I do cook a lot, but I make enchiladas and stuff like that, but we do a lot of like soups and salads, and we do sandwiches, and sometimes we have breakfast for dinner, and I don't have little ones at home anymore, so I don't have to do the 3 meals a day. And but the one that started this pantry challenge at the Three Rivers homestead, she's a household of 9, I believe, or she has 9 kids, I can't remember, but she's the one that started this, and she's been doing this for years. And if they can do it, a household of 2 doesn't have a reason why we can't. So, but I'm gonna kind of keep track of a few things, see what I need to like stock up more on for next year, because this is really something I'm interested in. So I'm gonna run outside, grab those wash tubs, and that way I can get them cleaned up for the outside freezer, so I can organize them a little better. All right, finally got all the freezers done, the fridge is done. And I went ahead and took inventory of the what was in the pork freezer. I didn't do the inventory with the other freezer because it's an upright and I can pretty much see what I have. Whereas the chest freezer, it's kind of a mystery. So I got the 3 tubs. The really big one barely fit into the bottom of it, but that's where I put all the pork fat that I still need to render. I've already rendered a bunch of it, and I just don't have any more room for more, so I kind of held off on finishing that. But I have plenty of rendered lard from what I've already done. So I went ahead and put that in the big one on the very bottom, because it was actually kind of just mixed in there. So I think that was part of the reason why we really weren't eating a lot of the pork, is because I just didn't want to dig for it. But I'm blown away at what we have. Like, I had no idea we had this much food. I kind of feel guilty for going to the store today. Well, no, not really, because I needed creamer. But so I went ahead, like I said, I took inventory of the chest freezer just so I know what is in it and I can kind of plan my meals accordingly. But I'm not going to do that with the other freezers because they're easy to see. It's easy to see what's in there. And so I'm going to run out and get the chickens put away for the night, and the ducks and the peacocks and stuff, and get them put up for the night. And then I will be back to start the pantry because it is already 5 o'clock. So Honey will be coming home soon, and he's going to be hungry. So I also need to be thinking about dinner because it has been a long day. So You know, and actually I'm going to go ahead and end this here, but I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. And, you know, I really hope you look at maybe doing the pantry challenge. I think it's pretty cool. I'm excited about it. And Three Rivers Homestead is the one that puts it together every year. And you can join it on her Instagram, but she also has a YouTube page, and she does all kinds of really cool stuff. And then another one is 1 Acre Homestead. I believe she's doing it as well. I'm trying to remember who all is doing it, but there's actually quite a few people doing it. So, you know, and if you're not watching one of these videos, whether it's theirs or this one, until after the 1st, you know what? Do it anyway. Finish it out. See what you can do for the remainder of the month and through February, or, you know, or pick another 2 months that you want to do it. This is kind of the ideal time to do it, especially if you garden, because it'll kind of help, you know, flow through things. But I definitely am feeling a lot more confident about it. I was excited anyway, but I'm feeling more confident about it now that I've kind of cleaned out all the refrigerators and I really know what we have. I think I'm very guilty of impulse buying, and I buy in such large quantities that sometimes I think that I forget what I have. And part of that is not only, you know, just wanting to be self-sustained and stuff, and, you know, not being able, having to rely on a lot of things, but because of where I live, we do buy large quantities because there are times that we do get snowstorms and we can't go anywhere for a while. So this year we haven't had any snow yet, but I guess we're expecting a doozy of a one, which is kind of weird considering we've already been through December and we haven't even had snow. Normally we have snow by October. So hopefully it's not too bad, but you know, so, but also that, you know, like it's 45 minutes for me to go to the grocery store. So when you live this far out, you buy in bulk so you don't have to go as often. We probably order our groceries, I would say, once a month, and then either he or I will go to the store probably once a month. So we really only go like twice a month, sometimes only once, just depending on where we're at. But we do go at least once a month. So this will be very interesting to not go at all for 2 months. I'm going to try very, very hard to not go for anything at all. But like I said, if I do, it's probably just going to be milk. So, but thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys think about doing this challenge and see how it goes. And I wish you the best of luck. And remember, tomorrow's always a new beginning. Every day is a new beginning. Don't get discouraged. Hang in there. And, you know, if any of us can help, we're more than happy to. Thanks.